Hi everyone, it's Miss Stoops, a pre-K teacher at Hurlock Elementary School. Tonight is my night to share with you a holiday story as part of Hurlock Elementary's holiday read-alouds. Each night around 7 p.m. from December 1st to December 24th, another Hurlock Elementary staff member will be reading a story to you right here on Facebook or YouTube. So most of you know me. You know that I enjoy highly dressing up for the holiday season. But I have to admit something to you. This hat right here is not one of my favorite hats. I'd much rather be wearing a hat that looks like this. Do you know why I'd rather wear this hat? Because you can wear this hat to the beach, and the beach is my favorite place to be. So of course, the holiday book that I chose to read with you has to deal with the beach. It is called Santa Claus. It is written by Priscilla Cummings and illustrated by Marcy Dunn Ramsey. Let's see what this is all about. The waves turned to ice and snow fell all day, one cold Christmas Eve in the Chesapeake Bay. Ashore-colored lights lit the tree in the square, and carolers sang, music filling the air. The stockings were hung, and the cocoa was hot. Good children said prayers, but sleep they could not. Meanwhile, outside of town, in a cove dusted white, all the animals had a much quieter night. The herons and egrets and ducks and the geese found refuge together and nestled in peace. Furry foxes and raccoons and tiny gray moles were curled up asleep in their dens and their holes, while below the bay's ice crust, all tucked in their beds, the oysters and crabs and fish rest their heads. Not once would they move, not a peep from the deep, until the spring sun woke them all from their sleep. You see all the animals that they're asleep? They're all really happy to be asleep. They're all animals that you typically see at the sea or at the ocean. My favorite place to be. But suddenly noise cut the cold air in half, then faintly, so faintly, the tiniest laugh. No, this Christmas Eve in the Chesapeake Bay was not going to pass in a typical way. For below in the water, awake in the mud, was a naughty young crab the others called Spud. Spud hated to nap. He was just like his father. He thought all the sleep was a waste and a bother. Jumping out of the mud, he gave others a poke and a poke until all of them woke. Get up, crab, Spud hollered. Don't lie there and snooze. Just think of the time. You waste time that you lose. Oh my, look at Spud. Look what he's doing to his friends while they're sleeping. He's poking them with his claws. I, for one, would not be happy if anyone was poking me while I was trying to sleep. He grabbed a tin can where he'd hidden some clothes. Then he stuck a plump berry on his face for a nose. A sock that he found made a grand Santa hat, and a waterman's glove made his thin legs look fat. Some whiskers he'd cut from his grass stored in the fall, and 8 rubber boots on 8 feet made him tall. All right, here's all the things that he's about to put on. At this time, take a second and try and guess, what do you think that Spud is dressing up as? Let's find out. A crab dressed as Santa? A Santa with claws? If you met this Santa, would you know who it was? He winked and he chuckled. His pincers went click. Why, no one would guess this crab wasn't Saint Nick. I'm off, Spud cried gaily, a grin eye to eye. He swam away sideways, his claw waved goodbye. But then crabs were wide-eyed and giggling too. They could not believe what they saw young Spud do. Did you know that that's how crabs swim? They swim sideways like that. Isn't that funny? I wonder what Spud's about to do. What do you think he's about to do? He thumped on the oysters, he pulled the fishtails, ignoring their moaning and groaning and wails. I'm Santa with claws, Spud yelled. Santa who pinches. Get up or I'll pinch you, you little fish grinches. Oh my, he's not being very kind. Oh, for what? A perch begged him. A crab wondered too. If we get up for Christmas, then what are we going to do? You'll see, Spud declared. I have a surprise. Get up now. Be patient. Don't open your eyes. I wonder what he thinks they're going to do. That fish does not look angry. Does not look happy that Spud woke him up. Oh my. Spud swam away quickly to wake up the band, a group of musicians who played in the sand, a fiddler crab trio, a flounder on flute, an eel with a sax, and a bass with a lute. The band had lovely young rockfish on harp, and French horns were blown by both catfish and carp. The jellyfish blobbed while a ray practiced drumming. The crab chorus gathered and warmed up by humming. The bay bottom band, every gill, every fin, was ready to play when Spud called out, "Begin!" The music was loud. Oysters popped open shells. In time with a ribbon, they sounded like bells. With all of that singing and dancing and clapping, not one single creature remained in bed napping. Look at the band that they created. I bet that was quite noisy. Spud used things he'd found for a fine Christmas tree, then strung up green seaweed and shells carefully. An old sunken rowboat provided a spot for Spud to place foods that were tasty and hot. He hugged each dear friend and said, "Now don't you see why Christmas awake once meant so much to me?" I love their little Christmas tree. They have a starfish on top of their tree, just like I do. Their talking and laughing made so many bubbles. At first, no one heard that real Santa had troubles. But when they heard boom, which was followed by whack, they gazed up to see the ice tremble and crack. Oh no! Real Santa called help as his sleigh circled twice before trying to land once again on the ice. Oh gosh, moaned Real Santa, a storm without warning. All these fine toys to hand out before the morning. The snow finally stopped and stars brightened the night, but Santa was lost and it was a sad sight. Oh no, how do you think Santa is feeling right now? How is he going to fix this problem? 'Twas Spud who spoke up, "I can show you the way. I know every inch of the Chesapeake Bay." Real Santa was startled. "Are you Santa too?" Spud chuckled. "Well, yeah, but not a real one like you." Real Santa said, "Fine, Mr. Crab, have a seat. Please show us the way. I've got a deadline to meet." Spud pointed his claw. "The town's there in the west. Straight on, tell the reindeer we'll hope for the best." The reindeer plunged forward in snow to their knees, then leapt in the air with astonishing ease. Thank goodness Spud knows the way. The fish and the crabs wondered, would Spud be all right, so high in the sky, out of water at night? Afraid, they peeked over the ice towards the shore and witnessed a sight they'd only heard of before. A sleigh with 8 reindeer flew down from the sky and landed on rooftops of houses nearby. Real Santa Claus holding a sack and a light, then jumped in each chimney and slid out of sight. "He's just like a sand crab," one fish told his brother. "He ducks down one hole, then he scoops down another." Have you ever gone on the beach at night and seen the sand crabs and how they run and duck into the little holes? That's what Spud's doing, but he's using a chimney. The fish and the crabs waited and worried and shivered while all the toys and the gifts were delivered. "Hooray!" they cheered Spud. Santa thanked his crab guide. "I wish there was one Christmas gift left," he sighed. Then he reached in his pocket and said, "Oh my gosh, it's one of my hats that was shrunk in the wash." Spud loved his new hat. He was eager to wear it. He grinned at his friends and declared, "We'll all share it." Oh, I love that he's sharing with his friend. Look how handsome he looks in his little hat. By then, all were tired. Enough celebration. 'Twas time to return to their long hibernation. In sand, mud, and seaweed, they stretched and they yawned as Christmas and New Day above them had dawned. The church bells rang out and the sky turned bright blue. For many good children, their dreams had come true. Spud saved Christmas. Look at all their presents. Real Santa flew home while below in the deep, the oysters and fish and the crabs went to sleep. They dreamed of the spring and the tides and the sun, of friendships they had, of clean water and fun. They dreamed of a Santa Claus crab wearing red, and all that one Christmas they had out of bed. The end. I hope you enjoyed that holiday story. I hope it's a new one that you haven't heard before and you can share it with your family and friends. I, for one, really enjoyed it, and I would like to take the time to say Merry Christmas to all, and we have one more school day. See you tomorrow, boys and girls. Bye.